I have truly never seen a show like Daredevil, and I don't think I ever will again. I have never seen a show hook me with all of its incredibly executed drama, all of its emotional and sympathetic characters, all of its score that is literally the most cinematic audible experience I've ever heard in my life. I have never seen fight scenes executed so flawlessly with grit, power, and purpose behind every single punch. I have never seen a fictional protagonist that I wanted to root for more than ever. I have never seen shots composed like this, where we as an audience sit in the vibrant yellows, reds, blues, and every shadow. I have no words to express how much these characters feel like real people I know. I have no words to express how insanely talented this team is. The team that took on the challenge of writing, constructing, and releasing the best superhero show of all time, hands down. Daredevil is the best show I have ever seen. A lot of videos have been made on why this show is incredible, but I never had my turn to tell you why this show is perfect. I guess you could call this a simple love letter I have been wanting to get out for so long. This is partly due to the new season of Daredevil being released on Disney+, and I guess I wanted to share a retrospective of sorts. At least before Disney grabs Daredevil by his horns and drags his butt into the multiverse shenanigans. So I figured it would be a good time to share with everyone what I love about the original Netflix show. First and foremost, the storyline of Daredevil is instantly compelling. The show follows the story of Matt Murdock, a blind lawyer by day and vigilante crime fighter by night. The premise of a blind superhero may sound far-fetched, but the show does an excellent job of portraying the challenges and struggles that come with being visually impaired. Another thing that sets Daredevil apart from other superhero shows is its gritty and realistic tone. Which, as a side note, I want to make sure everyone knows that making something dark and gritty does not make it automatically good. If I give Bob the Tomato a gun and tell him he has to shoot his way out of a horde of bloodthirsty zombies to rescue his secret girlfriend, that doesn't make the idea good. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, that sounds kinda cool actually, then you need to go home and rethink your life because that is what Larry Boy is for. My point being is that making something dark or more intense than usual is not always the way to make a great story. You need to have an established reason for why a gritty tone is included. The reason why Daredevil works in this tone is because he is a character that lives in a naturally dark world that is replicated much like our own. The story is dark because there is a point that the writers of the show are trying to get across through its integrated plot and story structure. If you think a movie or a show is like cake and pretend that the dark and gritty tone is like the icing, then you want to make sure that the cake is not constructed purely of just icing. The cake needs a basic base structure of flour, eggs, and sugar, and whatever cakes are made of. It can't just be an icing fiesta. Otherwise, there's no good substance to keep the cake standing or long-lasting. I'm looking at you, Zack Snyder. If the point's not clear enough, then to sum it up in one sentence, there needs to be a reason for a gritty story if there is something actually good to create. And Daredevil succeeds at this with flying colors. I know so many other people online have said this already, but unlike other superhero shows that rely heavily on CGI and special effects, Daredevil focuses on character development and storytelling. The fight scenes in Daredevil are some of the best I've ever seen anywhere, period. The choreography is insanely top-notch. The fights are even better than just a regular hand-to-hand fist fight because you also know how impactful the context of the fight is. For example, if you watch the iconic hallway fight from the first season, then sure, you can admire it on its incredible technical level with all the visceral stunts and its practical action, but it's only until you realize that Matt is fighting for his life and barely makes it out for himself, all for the purpose of saving a little boy who has been kidnapped by these evil men. For me, the best part of the scene is not the crazy kicks or blows that were exchanged, but rather it's the end of the fight when Matt opens the door and says to the boy,
I know you're scared, but I'm here to help you. Okay, you don't have to be scared. Let's get you home to your dad.
Literal chills. The show does not shy away from showing the consequences of violence, making the stakes feel really impactful. Another standout aspect of the show is its stellar cast. Charlie Cox shines in the role of Matt Murdock. I know we have gotten actors who are born to play certain characters in the past, like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man or Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But Daredevil is Charlie Cox's character. He is Daredevil. He embodies everything the character has from the comics and brings this character to its fullest complexity. Charlie is so good at playing this character that I swear it's weird to see him not be a blind guy in real life because that's how much I get immersed in his performance. All the happiness, sadness, and the anger is fully realized in this character, and I can feel every single bit of emotion this guy goes through. Vincent D'Onofrio is just as impressive as Wilson Fisk. He brings a sense of insecurity to the character at first in season 1, while still feeling like the most unstoppable threat at the same time. but then also later embodies the very essence of being the most confident crime lord we all know him to be later on. D'Onofrio is just a beast of an actor and just oozes with strength and fear, making Fisk literally the most compelling villain in the Marvel Universe. One of the things I love most about Daredevil is the exploration of morality and justice. The show definitely does not shy away from asking the difficult questions what it means to be a hero. Matt struggles with his dual identity as a lawyer and vigilante, constantly questioning whether he's doing the right thing, because that's all the character wants to do. He will literally give up everything in his life to save his city from evil and corruption, because once we as the viewer get to see how awful the world is, all we want to see is Matt bring justice to this broken city. I just love the complex moments when he's sitting in church and questions his own morals. Since the character is a professing Catholic, he always tries to make sure his actions line up with his faith. And Matt fails at this time and time again, where the weight of the world is just falling on this man's shoulders. When Matt screams from rage of stress and anger, you feel these emotions down to the bone. I think the standout moment of this is when he goes on the ark in season 3. When at the beginning of the season, he's basically compared to the life of Job from the Bible. Everything is taken or stripped away from him, either by choice or by his circumstances. In this case, the new setting that Matt finds himself to be in was mostly because of his own actions, and has to learn how to keep moving forward while continuing to stay close to his faith and belief during the hardest moments of his life. He is tested time and time again if he will break his morals, not only as a hero, but as a human being. Is he willing not to kill the man he despises most, even though his enemy seems to win every single time? Ultimately, Matt makes the right decisions in the end. And because of this, his old life is re-nurtured, along with his friends sticking side by side with him through everything. To me, it truly represents a physical embodiment of the Christian walk. This show has done so much for me, especially when I first saw it in high school. I kid you not, I've literally never connected more with a fictional protagonist more than Matt Murdock / Daredevil. Everything this guy struggled with is what I related to during hard seasons of my life. Now, I'm not saying I lived out everything that this fictional vigilante has gone through. I've never investigated huge underground crime syndicates, or gotten a tussle in an epic hallway fight. But the core of Matt's character is what I related to. Like feeling overwhelmed by the surrounding evil that lingers everywhere. Wanting to stand up for what is right, especially when no one else around you will. Learning how to love your enemies even when they never deserve it. Everything that Matt has felt in this show is what I connected with. I connected with everything. That's why I love this show. Because despite the character's name and the appearance he draws inspiration from, he is one of the best Christ-like followers I've seen depicted in a secular TV show. Whether Matt is having a crisis of faith and he feels like God is nowhere near him, or when Matt is sticking to his God-given morals despite being under severe pressure from antagonists who encourage him to do otherwise. Daredevil is just a masterpiece of a show. It is easily the best superhero content hands down, but not only does it surpass superhero media in general, it's just an incredible show that I think even casual movie and TV fans need to check out. Because especially living in our oversaturated summer blockbuster movie age, I think something like this that is street level, grounded in reality, is a gigantic breath of fresh air. Because I'm so tired of Hollywood pumping up Marvel movie after Marvel movie with cosmic and multiverse level threats, where the stakes are always literally universe threatening. But I can never care about the characters that are nowadays always phoned in or poorly written in every meaning of the word. Guys, if you haven't seen Daredevil already, go do yourself a favor and watch it right now. It is so worth it.